some more crazy news stories coming out in Ireland today. And I'm going to be doing these segments every single day. So if you enjoy them, leave a like, tell me in the comments down below. I try and react to a lot of news stories that aren't really portrayed in the media, or they're very heavily downplayed. We know the mainstream media doesn't like to push, the sort of mass immigration, anti-immigration sentiment. Okay, they hate the people on the right. They hate the conservative movement. And we're definitely going to be pushing these news stories that are insane. And the first one absolutely is insane, okay? So it says, radiographer banned from conducting x-rays on anyone under 18 for 12 months. Now, this is a crazy story for multiple reasons. First of all, he basically, and I'll show you right here, a radiographer had misconduct his profession, which a radiographer is, a heavy profession. That to get a radiographer job is 5-6 years in college plus a few years internship. Like it's a serious profession, okay, very very heavily regulated. And the man was from the Philippines originally, okay, with a Irish passport, of course. And I don't want to be seen like I'm hating on foreigners here, guys. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of the times the procedures and the culture is just not the same. Okay, maybe it's a little bit more laid back, not up to standard. That's all I would say. People from Eastern Europe, Asia, some of the standards wouldn't be as high spec as in the Western world, pretty much. So it says here that this radiographer did inappropriate behavior in carrying out a chest x-ray on a young female patient who was 16, and then later tried to contact them on social media. Okay, so obviously this guy's like a bit of a pervert. And I don't mean to be laughing, guys, but these stories are so ridiculous every day. When I read them, I'm like, how does the public react when they see this? Like, I'm over here looking at this like, this is so bizarre, and all he got was a 12-month, not even criminal sentence, just banned from doing x-rays for 12 months. He wasn't kicked out of his profession. He wasn't, put in any sort of jail or prison. He just got banned from doing procedures for 12 months. It's just, it's just ludicrous. Like that is absolutely insane. So it says, the prohibition on carrying out x-rays on children and adolescents apart from exceptional circumstances is one on 5 conditions imposed on the registration of radiographer Adrian Pensoncilio by CORU, the regulatory body of health and social care professionals. Okay, it says, the inquiry heard that the patient had come out of the changing area undressed from the waist up and covering her chest due to the failure of Pensoncilio to provide her with hospital gown prior to her undressing. The radiographer, the Irish citizen who comes from the Philippines, and normally Filipino people, great people, I've talked to Filipino people, but like I said, guys, the culture, sometimes maybe the standards aren't up to, the necessary, standard, to be perfectly honest, guys. A lot of people, Asian stuff, it's a little bit more lax, a little bit more relaxed, in some circumstances, okay? He said he was accused of looking at her in a forward-facing manner while her back was against the x-ray board and later inviting her in to look at her x-ray while she remained undressed. So basically this person was naked running around the flipping place, and he let her. Basically, he was supposed to obviously be in charge and say no, like, here's some help, put on clothes and that kind of thing in an appropriate manner. And this guy, completely just didn't care. And then he got on her Instagram account, and his Instagram was in the name of Adrian Wonderman. I don't know what the hell that is. He had originally claimed in correspondence with CORU that he had sent the Instagram request to an Australian DJ with the same name as the girl. So bizarre shit, guys. I don't know, bizarre, guys. People that work in the medical profession, doctor, nurse, radiographer, these people are high convoluted, this is super professional jobs, guys. I mean, it is tough to get these jobs, and now it just seems like they're hiring people from outside rather than our own people. Like, not for nothing, guys, but why can't they hire Irish people? And this is one of the arguments that I always make. Fair enough, he had an Irish passport, okay? I'm not going to say, oh, let's hire an Irish person over that person, because then everybody calls me an Irish ethno-national, okay? which not really is what I'm trying to get at here. But at least have an Irish passport, at least have something like that, that that you're hired before these other people. It just seems like, could we not hire someone, local for that job? It just seems ridiculous, guys. It seems like this guy came here a few years ago. It doesn't really understand what's going on here. Okay, if he was born and raised here, and maybe he's from the Philippines ethnicity, but he understands the culture of Ireland, it's a little bit different, guys. It's a lot different, actually. From foreign people coming here like 2 years ago and just getting jobs in these high professional sectors. That's the sort of DEI hiring that they do now. They hire everybody else apart from the Irish people, and it's bullshit, guys. I don't think they should be hiring people, that aren't Irish, in my personal opinion. Okay, they should be hiring Irish people first, always. But unfortunately, that's not how things are in 2025 Ireland, okay? Now, the next story is definitely not as serious, but definitely in the entertainment sector is a little bit crazy. So we have Garron back in the news again. This happened 2 days ago. I happened to miss this one, guys, because I don't actually follow Garron on Instagram or on any social media platform, but he is the biggest influencer in Ireland. I mean, bar none. He is like by far the biggest. YouTube, every video on YouTube on his shorts gets like 500,000 views. The guy is just he's unbelievable, and I'm a big admirer of him, okay? Even though some people would say he sold out, whatever, to the mainstream media, whatever he did, guys, I don't hate anybody. I would never want to make somebody feel hated. Absolutely not. I love Garron in some regards, but this came out of nowhere, okay? So he basically has been saying for the last few months, or weeks, that he's taking time off social media because of his mental health. And we know, guys, social media can have a big detrimental effect to your mental health. Okay, not me. I'm counting gains, baby. I'm crazy strong mentally. But if you're as famous as he is, and the amount of criticism and critique that he gets on the daily is just outrageous, guys. He lost all of his sponsors for coming out talking about immigration, which he was correct about. Okay, everything he said was correct with the immigration story. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. And he got such backlash, he lost all of his sponsors. Then he came out again and said, no, that's not what I meant. And then he basically got his sponsors back. But then he said on his Instagram, he's taking time off for a week. And I called the guys. He said he didn't leave his house for a week. He had like agoraphobia, that thing that Eminem had, where like he doesn't like being out in public. A lot of people have that, actually, like social media anxiety. And he basically, didn't leave his house for a week, and he had severe mental health because of the woke liberal mob. The woke liberals just basically tried to destroy his career after coming out, talking about immigration, calling him right-wing and stuff. And now, he said that he's going to take some time off social media. And also, not only that, he came out 2 days ago to say this: I'm very sorry to have to post this. Thank you for everything. If you had tickets for one of your shows, then you will receive an email this evening. So it says here, how are you getting on? How are you getting on? Okay, in Garron's accent. We love Garron. Garron's a good guy. After a lot of thought, I'm very sad to have made the difficult decision to reschedule all of my gigs this year. It's not an easy decision to make. Many of you will be aware that some of the issues I've dealt with in the past, and unfortunately over the last few months, I have been dealing with these issues again. Okay. It has gotten to a point where I really need to put all of my energy into getting back on track. Okay, so he said, I'm disappointed that I'm not going to be able to see you in 2026. Okay, but tickets will be refunded. I'm very sorry to everyone that was coming to see me. I understand that I want to make these shows, but I can't. If it was possible, I would love to do them, but I have to accept that it's not possible at this time. Thank you for everyone for their support over the last few years. My break from making videos will also likely be a bit longer than I'd hoped, but I look forward to chatting to you all again soon. There are a couple of posts that made with sponsors that are scheduled to come out in the next couple of weeks, which I had a lot of fun making, and hopefully it won't be too long after that until I'm back. Until I see you again, stay delicious. Now, Mr. Delicious Man, if you see this, okay, much strength and power to you. Don't let people isolate you. Don't let people get to you. Okay, you're a legend. Keep pushing forward. I would never want to actually hate on anybody on social media. Okay, the people that I hate on, guys, are people that sell out Ireland. Okay, there's been loads of them. Okay, Protein Bore. What's that guy? Sean Hammonds. What's that flipping OnlyFans model? Whatever. You know, all these people, guys. These are people that are selling out Ireland. Someone like Garron, he came out publicly and talked about the immigration thing. You know, he's a legend. You know, the unfortunate thing is he can't speak his mind. He doesn't have the voice to do that because he is so famous. If he crosses that line, game over, you know, unfortunately. And it's going to be an independent road from then on. But in my personal opinion, I would tell him, don't side with RT and News Talk and all these different stations. Do your own thing. You know, cut ties with them completely. Like, the dude is so famous. Everyone of my friends that I talk to in real life love this guy. I talk to people from Canada. They love this. This guy is more famous than anyone in Ireland. He doesn't have to converse or talk or work with mainstream media or any mainstream company. He can become so famous just by himself. I bet he can make 50 million euro by himself. He doesn't have to be in any mainstream platform whatsoever. So that was my advice to you. Also, if you need some advice, brother, I just live in Galway. Hit me up. Okay, we'll get you fit. We'll get you in shape. That's another thing I would tell him. You know, get in shape, guys. Get a six-pack, guys. You know, get the abs going. Get your you know, workouts done every single day. Make sure you're working out every day. It is impossible to feel good about yourself unless you work out. Impossible, guys. And I tell that to all my clients. I tell that to my YouTube followers as well. You know, and I got my my lines twisted. I was reacting to a video the last day where he commented on these Americans' post, and I kind of got messed up. I didn't mean to say I disliked him. I don't dislike him at all. Okay, what I meant to say is I feel like people are trying to pull him in one direction, and I'm over here trying to pull him in the other direction, along with the far right and the conservative people. Okay, everyone is trying to pull this guy in a different direction, and it's not healthy, guys. You know, the guy has had severe mental health problems in the past. He said at one point he didn't leave his house for like 5 years. You know, I mean, we're talking about massive mental health issues, but you know, stay strong, dude. You know, I got your back. You know, if anyone wants to talk shit, you know, let them talk shit, guys. You know what I mean? Don't fall for these idiots or any of these losers, you know, because that's what they want to do. They want to bring you down, isolate you, and it's not good, guys. So hopefully we see Garron back again. I didn't know that he took time off again, you know, and he's taking a long time off. My guess is that he's going to take probably the whole of the summer off, and then he'll be back after the summer. Okay, so let's all hope that, because he's a cool guy. You know, I would not want to see anything happen to this guy. You know, the road that these people put you on, these mainstream platforms. Okay, so 2 depressing stories. The last story I'm going to leave you with is the most Irish fucking starly you're ever going to see in your life, okay? This is just by the Irish Watchdog. It says, only in Ireland. Welcome to Bali Bagg. Bali Bagg. I've heard that name before, but I haven't got a clue where it is, lads. Let's watch this one.
Oh, Stoiber! What's happening? Where's John? What's this? Sublik, what's the joke, Sublik?
It's a lovely chicken.
Sublik.
The child in the back of the car. I can't, the child in the back of the car.
How does she understand what he's saying? Is he saying, can I get a lift somewhere? Oh, lads, that is hilarious. Why is he holding the chicken with the pint of Guinness there? It'd be funnier if he had like a pint glass of Guinness, but I don't know why he's holding the can.
In the back of the car. I can't, the child in the back of the car. Dino, Dino, I can't see here any longer.
Give a bumpy yoke, give a bumpy yoke.
Yeah, but you had that tree, you know. Leave me on it for
I can't.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of County Gains. Every single day I'm going to put out a new video on County Gains. I'm going to start with something kind of depressing, like that radiographer story was terrible. And then we're going to finish with some funny shit, guys. Because a lot of the times people get a bit depressed with the news. And I don't want to be like these other YouTube creators. Like, their shit just is depressing and it's whack. Every other YouTube creator in Ireland that I see, apart from 1 or 2 in Galway, are just whack. They're not funny. They're just boring old fat men. It's just like, dude, I'm not listening to these videos. Like, these videos suck. And they do nothing for the movement. They just spread, like, there's bullshit, guys. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Garron is the man. Okay, just don't sell out to people anymore. Okay, he was on the correct track, guys. He literally said that he agrees that immigration is handled terribly by the government, and then of course they had to censor him. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? Insane. Let me know your thoughts. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Peace.